there's rather a lot on Keir Starmer's plate. We can talk about tariffs, incapacity benefit, but he's choosing today to go to Yorkshire to make a speech in which he's saying that the British state is flabby. He wants to cut waste, wants to cut civil servants, has sort of echoes of Elon Musk. You know, it seems as though the chainsaw is being brought out. Is this Operation Chainsaw, Jonathan Ashworth? Do you want to knock that one down?
No, this is about reforming the state, to use AI to improve the way in which the state delivers services to the citizen, making it easier, for example, to apply for your passport, your driving licence, for all the things where you interact with the state, and looking at how the central machine in Whitehall, all the civil servants themselves, can improve delivery in Whitehall as well. And look, you know, we've heard this earlier.
What Elon Musk was saying about the chainsaw?
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, but it is right to try and cut out waste.
Yeah.
Jonathan's think tank Labour Together, it has been reported, refers to this as Operation Chainsaw, although I think Downing Street don't like that label. No, you probably don't like it either.
Because Downing Street, quite rightly, and the Prime Minister quite rightly will be saying that, unlike Elon Musk and all of these other characters, we believe the state, we believe Whitehall and public services can deliver improvements for the citizen. Elon Musk doesn't believe that. He wants to cut away the state, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't reform the state. It doesn't mean you shouldn't cut away at regulation if it's holding back infrastructure spend, for example. So it's kind of like,
state is good, but ours is bad right now.
Well, the state is good, but you should always be reforming the state to deliver better public services.
You know Kwasi can totally agree with this, because it sounds such Tory language, doesn't it?
It's totally. And what's going to happen is we've got a spring statement that the Chancellor will announce in 2 weeks' time. Before that, you're likely to have an OBR downgrade in terms of the growth figures. So they're just preparing the ground for what could be quite tough cuts in the spring.
So in what way? They'll be losing jobs?
Because, yes, so that all of that conversation... And we had Jacob Rees-Mogg, he was the Minister of Government Efficiency in the last government, and he was trying to find 66,000, lay off 66,000 civil servants. So they're not going down the numbers route, because obviously that will be very sensitive. But I think they're preparing the ground for reductions in spending, which the OBR will essentially force them to do.
What's striking to me is, I mean, Jonathan, we had austerity, we had 14 years of a Conservative government, local government has had huge cuts, social care had, you know, really, really difficult time, and then Keir Starmer says the state is flabby. I mean, why does he want to say that? Well, is it true? Flabby?
Well, the number of civil servants working for the state have gone through the roof since, under the Conservatives, actually, post-Brexit.
Post-Brexit and COVID.
That's a fact. But Conservatives did say Brexit was going to make us more nimble, and actually we recruited more people.
The big increase, I would argue, was COVID, the COVID pandemic, because you will remember that before that, the budgets they weren't balanced, but we were in control of public spending. After COVID, we spent something like 300 billion just to keep the economy afloat, and as a consequence of that, taxes have gone up relentlessly, and now you come to a point where taxes are so high, the Labour government will have to look at reducing spending. And that's the tricky thing for Labour.
But the problem is you're going to different issues, but when we're just momentarily looking at the statement, you've got two sort of what will feel to people quite conflicting words. You've got the state is flabby, but also overstretched. And if you're working in that, you're thinking, oh, God, you know, do you know what I mean? It feels like he's trying to win all ways there.
But lots of private businesses are really making use of tools like AI to improve the efficiency of their services. Let me give you an example, yeah? If you are the victim of a crime and you go and give a witness report to a police officer and they write it all down by hand, yeah? And that is how your witness report is recorded for a lot of police forces still. Police services still. Why not use AI? Why not speak it into a like a dictaphone, if you like, and then use AI to transcribe it? That would be a very simple efficiency.
Although you'd have to have a civil servant or a police officer to check the AI. Yeah. My experience of AI is they never get it right. Can you imagine? Look,
well, it's improving all the time,
improve the system. You know, if only we'd had AI, we'd be able to assess disability claims quicker. We could assess visa claims quicker. We wouldn't have had a Windrush scandal because they'd have got it all right. You just wondered to yourself, actually, is it possible for technology to make what are actually quite fine, difficult judgments, which if you get wrong, the government's in a lot of trouble.
But the answer to that can't be just more civil servants. I mean, you know, both Labour and the Conservatives are trying to tackle the same problem, We've got lots and lots of people.
I'm in favour of using AI. I'm just wondering whether you get massive savings from it. Well, I mean, it might make things better, but I mean, in the short term, if you're going to get
productivity gains, you know.
In the short term, if you're going to get the NHS and police and the courts to use AI well, how much investment are we going to have to put into computer systems? Is this going to save money this Parliament?
Well, I mean, you can use AI to improve a lot of diagnosis. It can spot cancers
and computers and the tech,
and it spots bone fractures much quicker within the NHS. So you should be embracing this.
Ed raised an important point. The fact that you're trying to transition to this stuff will have an additional immediate cost.
Yeah.
And so the benefit, which is a good thing, but in the long run, it's a good thing.
Public spending,
in the long run, it's a good thing, but you're going to have to put money in the short run to make the things work. That's the danger.
Is that right?
Well, I mean, you've got to... You do have capital investment budgets across different public services. And I know in the NHS now, AI is being rolled out as a diagnosis tool, and there is evidence that it is better at spotting bone fractures than the traditional X-rays.
The question I'm asking is whether AI... I'm sure you're totally right, that for the long term, it's a really good thing to do. Is it going to solve this immediate dilemma, which is that they need cuts in public spending now? Does AI deliver cuts in public spending this year and next year? Or actually, do you need to spend in order to make AI work?
Well, let's see what the Prime Minister says today in his speech. Let's see what Rachel Reeves says in a statement in a couple of weeks.
They're going to cut numbers. I mean, I think that's... You can't get around that. You've got to reduce...
Which civil servants have you cut? Where's the flab?
Well, we'll have a drink afterwards and we can talk about that.
Okay. Not necessarily, I don't think he necessarily meant individuals. No, but I think he meant individual
names. Where is this? I mean, it is true that we now have huge numbers of people checking kind of goods coming in and out of the country.
So I looked at the numbers. So in 2016, we had something like 380,000 at the end of 2016 working across Whitehall. Last year, it was about 513,000. There are extra 130-odd thousand people. And what are they all doing? Are we doing more than we did in 2016?
Although, you know, there's a drop in the ocean of savings compared to the scale of the fiscal challenge.
No, but it's a start. And in terms of the machine, you've got to try and trim that.
I think I feel a bit jaundiced. For 30 years, every 3 years, you have a Prime Minister who makes a speech in which he says, I'm going to sort of use technology and sort out the state, and you think, OK, but really?
Well, these things do come along.
I mean, am I too cynical, Jonathan?
Well, I mean, these do come along.
Now you've moved to the think tank world. You're an optimist, ideas and change.
I don't think anyone's ever described me as an optimist. But, look, these things do come along. We worked on this stuff back in the day, back in the Treasury. We had the Gershon review. This is really getting into techie stuff now. But, look, it's right that you're always demanding efficiencies and good value from every pound of taxpayers' money.
Definitely.